So this isn't one of my regular transition videos, but I wanted to take the time to talk about suicide. Um, it's interesting that June of all months is when we have all of these deaths happening of high-profile people and anniversaries of suicides of high-profile people. For me personally, because a lot of you know this, but some of you don't, that in 2009, my mother committed suicide. I actually left work early because everyone was so concerned about me, because on my break, I really took the time to think about it, and I started breaking down, especially because of all of the support that I got from people on social media. Suicide is obviously a very personal choice that a lot of people decide to make. There are some people who flat out don't understand why, it happened. There are other people who, in some, unique way end up almost idolizing an act of suicide, especially when it comes from a famous person. But most, if not all, I don't want to assume, most of the people that commit suicide are severely depressed. And the reason why June is so significant, specifically today, is because it's my mother's birthday. She would have been 52. And especially now that, I'm finally transitioning, it kind of really gets me in a place that is new. Well, not new, but it hits a similar spot, but it feels a lot different. Because when you're depressed, you don't feel like there's enough good to counteract, to weigh out the bad. But even if not for herself, a lot of good is coming out of what I'm going through. And it would be really cool if she was still here. I'm kind of being scatterbrained in what I'm saying because, like all of my other videos, this is not edited, and I don't have bullet points to keep myself on track of what I'm intending to say. But basically, what I want to swing back around to is that, different people commit suicide for different reasons. There is always a reason at the end of it all. But it's different for everyone. And this nugget of information is something that some people know, but most probably don't, because usually when I explain it to people, it kind of just ends that my mother committed suicide. And then the sorries flood in. And You know, that's all you can really say, I guess, when you hear someone else tell you that oh, I lost a very dear loved one to suicide. But the nugget of information is that there are people like my mom who they were so unhappy that they were planning it for years. My mom specifically, she took antidepressants that no one knew about, myself included. If she reached out to anybody personally for help, it was kept under wraps, again, from even myself. If she went to see a therapist, no one knew. But she planned this for years. And I know that because she literally left a series of notes. Not just one, not just like one night she grabbed the supplies that she used and then wrote a one-off, like, you know, this is it, goodbye. No. She went to her job. She went to her workplace where she was entrusted with keys late one evening. I believe it was a Sunday evening, if memory serves. She sat at her computer and she wrote out myriad letters to all different people. In all of that time, it didn't occur to her to turn around and to change her mind. She said, no, I've had enough. And this is where it ends. She gave me more than one. She gave me more than one letter. The one thing that always sticks out when I remember what she wrote, I have them, I just don't have them in front of me. The one thing that I remember most, she said, I don't feel like I belong in this world. Word for word. I don't feel like I belong in this world. And that stays with me. And that's why I'm so proud to be who I am. And that's why I always want to push to have people to make sure that they explore who they are and explore all possibilities of who they can be. Or, of course, try to circulate those 1-800 hotlines because, you know, regardless of, you know, what you may believe, I do personally. I don't have a structured belief system, but there's one thing that I think we can all, well, most people can agree on, is that we're here for a reason. And everybody has a different lesson to learn and a different lesson to offer. Obviously, fate dealt to me the hand that in her death, my mother would teach me the beauty of life. She would help me understand that life is worth living and that you really have to make sure you understand who you are so that you don't feel like her, so that you don't feel like you don't belong, because ultimately there's someone for you, or there's something for you. There is a cause, there is a group, there is an ideal for you to live by until your natural death. No amount of money, as we've seen, can can make you happy, you have to figure out who you are and what you live for. And sometimes that doesn't come easy. Sometimes it takes time, it takes years. But I'm happy you're here. You know, regardless of any differences you and I may have, how little I talk to you, if you know me personally, I'm happy you're here. Because even if it's not me, there's someone else who you can talk to. There's you know, a film you love watching that you don't want to stop watching. There's a song that you just can't not listen to when it comes on the radio. The other thing that kills me most about, you know, it being nearly 9 years since she died is that before she passed, she kept telling me about this guy that she adopted as her own kid, who was like gay as anyone you've ever met, and she loved him so much, like a son. Because at the time I was attending university about 2.5 hours away, and in my absence, she adopted another child. And I have so many friends, so many unique and lovely friends. And she would love you all so much. I remember the long distance, well, not necessarily long distance, but the Skype calls I had with friends that I made over the internet. And every so often, at the time I was living with her, every so often my mom would poke her head down into the sunroom where I usually held my conversations, or in the basement where my room was at the time, and you're like, oh, my mom's here, and like she would like, you know, poke her head in from the side of the screen and wave, and eventually she got to know a few of them. You know, but our relationship, my mother and I, wasn't perfect. It was actually very, very rigid at the end. And that's the last thing that really always kind of nips me in the ass, is that, you know, I was 19, and that was, I was still a teenager, I was still a kid, and I was going through a lot, and I just wish I could like sit down and have a beer with her and like just for even a minute. Just shoot the shit. We had a lot of dumb inside jokes, and I get made fun of because I secretly, not so secretly, enjoy Shania Twain, but a big reason why I do is because that was one of my mom's favorite artists. And it's funny because there's a show, Broad City, that I know that she'd love to sit down and watch, and we'd laugh our asses off, and and then the revelation that Shania Twain is in that show always tickles me, because I know that if we were watching it together, it would just be something that, you know, we'd talk about and cycle over and just have fun with things we watch, you know. And literally just today, you know, it was just a one-off thing that someone one of my coworkers said, they're like, "Oh man, my mom annoys the shit out of me." And I almost turned around and said, "I wish I had my mom here to annoy the shit out of me." It's very easy to take the people that are around us for granted. And I so do my best to not. And it's hard because I have anxiety for different things, and sometimes it leads me to not be able to speak to people that I haven't spoken to in a long time. I'm still grateful for who they are and who they helped me to be along this journey of life, but there are plenty of people that I don't speak to, but I'm still grateful for. But you know, it's a self-serving thing because it's all internal. Like, I don't tell them because it's kind of offsets people sometimes when you just hear like, "Oh, I appreciate you, thanks," and then it's like, "Okay, bye, I'll see you in another 5 years." Like, but ultimately, you know, for everything she tried to tell me about and warn me about and help me with, you know, she left a lot of knowledge on our way out too. That's why, for her birthday, I'm just making this video talking about my feelings. I am not ashamed to cry on camera. I'm not ashamed to talk about my feelings because I'm so proud to be able to be open. I'm so proud to be her shining example. I just want for you who's watching to be happy. I want you to be happy where she couldn't. She always felt that she couldn't escape this darkness. It haunted her like nobody's business, and she couldn't escape it. She lost her battle. So if there's 2 things that you can take away from this, number 1, live your life, please. Live your life until that natural event happens where your time is up. Don't literally sell yourself short of what there is to see and there is to do. 2, find happiness. And they're 2 different things, in my opinion. Maybe mutually exclusive, but find happiness. And again, it may not come today, may not come tomorrow, but if you don't feel happy now, if you have the means to, try and find a new hobby. Try that television show that everybody talked to you about and you haven't watched yet. Confide in something or someone that will really help you through. and give you those good feelings that maybe you're lacking now or that you want to build on. I know I'll appreciate it. And I know she would too. Thank you.